Hello, my name is Bradley Huppenthal, and today I'll be interviewed about my new article about quality control in the international construction market. The construction industry has seen a major transformation in quality control in the past 3 decades. With continued increase in the competition for work in the international market, it is of the utmost importance to implement formal quality control techniques like total quality management and ISO 9000 standards. It is important to remember that quality control means different things to different markets around the world because certain cultures are more suited to implementing formal quality control systems. It is important to research the market one wants to move into to better understand how they see quality control to be able to be competitive in that market. I found many different journal articles and textbooks on quality control that I drew information from. A couple of my sources included basic information about quality control and how to implement it. These texts gave me a great foundation to better understand the formal quality control systems. Then I was able to find research conducted about quality control implementation in different construction markets around the world. The one piece of literature I could not find in abundance was a comparison of how quality control is conducted between many different countries in the international construction industry. This created the want to write this specific paper. The purpose of my paper is to investigate how quality control is implemented around the world and discover the stages each market is currently in with their quality control implementation. I would like to create a consolidated information pool one can go to better understand what is required to be competitive in the industry in relation to quality and what the norm is for each market when it comes to quality control. I've utilized a literature review to acquire the information necessary to discuss the use of quality control in the international construction industry. The sources were journal articles and textbooks about the implementation of quality control in different markets around the world. I was able to find sources that showed results of quality control in most of the continents around the world, which has allowed me to compare and contrast how the different markets in the international construction field implement and deal with quality control. The briefest way I can explain total quality management is that it is a total approach to quality. It is concerned with the whole system and is a continuous process. One of the bases of TQM is that there is constant improvement in the system, and the main goal is customer satisfaction. ISO 9000 is a set of worldwide standards that has established requirements for quality management. It gives a company a set standard to use to implement a fully fleshed out quality program. Now getting to the specifics of implementation in different markets around the world. Japan is a leader in quality control. As a whole, from this study, I found that Japanese contractors achieve considerable higher level quality projects, seeing less defects during the projects and during their longer liability periods when compared to the US and UK counterparts. Japan sees management as having two functions, maintenance and improvement. Kaizen signifies small improvements made as a result of ongoing efforts. Japan has a culture that is centered around quality. In a study of 138 US contractors, only one US-based company had ISO 9000 accreditation. One of the main reasons for not implementing this quality system is because it is not required, so there is a lack of motivation for US contractors to become accredited in ISO. The UK has higher percentage of accredited contractors in the US, where their projects are not completed fully thinking about quality like Japan. The reason for this in both of the countries, US and UK, is that the customer is more worried about project costs and duration over quality. South American countries are in the same boat as the US when it comes to ISO 9000. It was found that these countries lack knowledge of quality systems, no support from upper management, a lack of training for field personnel that led to a barrier of implementation. Vietnam is another market that is behind with implemented formal quality systems, even though their culture could easily allow for implementation. In the 1990s, the government of Hong Kong and Singapore created new awareness campaigns about quality. The government requires all major construction companies who will be pursuing projects to be ISO certified. Some examples for Europe: Germany does not require accreditation, but they do lay out very specific quality requirements in the bidding documentation. But the Netherlands and Finland do require ISO 9000, so you gotta look at each country specifically before moving to the European market. South African companies are very against formal quality systems. This is rooted in their culture because their culture has affected how workers see their work. For example, workers do not take direct responsibility for their actions. Quality detection is still geared towards detection instead of prevention. The workers are not worried about quality as they see it as a management issue, and the companies hire these workers on a project basis, not for the company in general. Another African country is Egypt, and they don't utilize formal systems as well. One of these is a lack of desire of the customer and the government for using formal quality systems, and just a knowledge of the systems and how to implement them. That's a very common cause for not using these systems. The bottom line for my research is that the three main proponents of successful quality control implementation in international construction is the cultural background of the country you're working in, the requirements of the government and customer. For example, Singapore and Hong Kong, you have to have ISO 9000 accreditation, and knowledge of these systems and buy-in from upper management. If a contractor is trying to break into a new market, it is very important to first know what is typically required by the government and the customers in that country. Also, they should conduct their own research on what type of quality control is typically used by the contractors in that area. Acquiring that information will allow a new contractor to know what is needed to be competitive in the area and also what is required. The next step would be to better understand the culture of the country when it comes to quality control. For the most part, you'll be using labor from that market, and for a formal quality system to work, you need full buy-in from all employees all the way down to the unskilled labor. Because of that, it is important to figure out the best way to educate and train the quality control system, as well as convince the labor force on the need and positive nature of quality control. My article has shown a foundation of the difference in quality control between many different markets in the international construction industry. It has outlined what to look for when trying to move into a new market and how quality control is implemented in different construction markets internationally. Quality control is an ever-evolving aspect of construction, and it is important to continually return to research in order to update where each market stands on quality control.